You're listening to the Cool CLE Show.
I'm Jay, host of the Cool CLE Show, brought to you by CoolCleveland.com, putting you in touch with cool events, people, news, and neighborhoods in the Cleveland region. On this episode, we have Erin O'Brien, co-author of a new book chronicling the burlesque entertainment of Cleveland. It's called Belt Burlesque, the softer side of a heavy metal town. It's out now. It traces the history of burlesque in Cleveland from the mid-1800s to the present day, telling the story of Bella Sin, a Mexican immigrant who largely drove our neo-burlesque comeback. The historical center of Cleveland burlesque was the iconic Roxy Theater on East 9th Street. Here in its 20th-century heyday, famed dancers like Blaze Starr and comics like Skelton and Abbott and Costello entertained both regulars and celebrity guests. Erin O'Brien's lively storytelling is partnered with Bob Perkoski's color photos to give readers a peek into this very interesting entertainment culture of our city. Today's burlies come in all shapes, ethnicities, and orientations, drawing a legion of adoring fans. O'Brien will be doing some book signings on July 11th from 6:30 to 8 at the B-Side Liquor Lounge in Cleveland Heights, and on July 21st from 1 to 3 p.m. at Loganberry Books in Shaker Heights. But first, here's some more events that I think should be on your calendar. In 2018, ICE incarcerated a record-breaking average of over 39,000 people every day. Detention does not take place just at the border. Immigrants are being held in facilities throughout Ohio, including the Geauga County Jail and the Northeast Ohio Correction Center in Youngstown. So on Friday, July 12th at Market Square, starting at 8 a.m., in coordination with events across the country, groups such as Women's March Northeast Ohio, Stand Up to Trump CLE, the Cuyahoga County Progressive Caucus will call for an immediate end to immigration, detention, and family separation. There's a unique concert slated for Wednesday, July 17th at the Beachland Ballroom. Locals Mourning a Black Star will open for a New York by way of Columbia folk band called Combi Chimbada. 1997 Hall of Fame inductees George Clinton's Parliament and Funkadelic will perform at the Rock Hall on July 20th. Before the show, George Clinton will be interviewed in the Rock Hall's Foster Theater. Tickets for the event are $35, which of course includes admission to the exhibits. The 16th annual Taste of Tremont Street Festival will take place on Sunday, July 21st from noon to 8 p.m. This is a free street festival. It will be held at the heart of Tremont's restaurant district and will be showcasing the best of their food, art, and entertainment. And this guy will be performing at Geneva on the Lake Brewing on July 12th. He's a self-professed daydreamer, joker, and Clevelander with a beard. It's Kevin Conaway with Canadian Girl.
She makes me laugh. She makes me cry. She makes me wonder just who the hell am I? She makes me smile when she says hey. I think she's hot, but I think she thinks I'm gay. Well, I don't know what I'm doing. Well, I don't know if this is right. All I know is that I hope that she'll be mine tonight. 'Cause I'm in love with the Canadian girl. She doesn't know it, but she gives me the world. And when she speaks to me, she sets me free. I don't think that she understands. I'm in love with the Canadian girl. She doesn't know it, but she gives me the world. Just what she does to me, I'm on my knees. She's got me in the palms of her hands. Oh, my Canadian girl. She builds me up just to tear me down. Still I smile every time she comes around. She gets me high for apartments in Toronto. Well, I don't know what I'm doing. Well, I don't know if this is right. All I know is that I hope that she'll be mine tonight. 'Cause I'm in love with a Canadian girl. She doesn't know it, but she gives me the world. And when she speaks to me, she sets me free. I don't think that she understands. I'm in love with a Canadian girl. She doesn't know it, but she gives me the world. Is what she does to me. I'm on my knees. She's got me in the palms of her hands. Oh, my Canadian. There she goes back to Ontario. She left me stranded here in Ohio. Still I can't see what she'd see in me. I'm not bilingual and I don't have much money. She likes hockey and they're tragically hip. I like them too, but it's a hell of a trip. Why'd she have to leave me so far behind? I feel like I'm about to die. When she speaks so soft, hell, I feel like I'm on nominees to take off to the Great White North. 'Cause I'm in love with a Canadian girl. She doesn't know it, but she gives me the world. And when she speaks to me, she sets me free. I don't think that she understands. I'm in love with a Canadian girl. She doesn't know it, but she gives me the world. 'Cause what she does to me, I'm on my knees. She's got me in the palms of her hands. Whoa, my Canadian girl. Canadian girl. Canadian girl. Canadian girl. Canadian girl.
All right, we've now got Erin O'Brien, freelance writer, journalist, and co-author of a book that's just come out on July 2nd, The Rust Belt Burlesque, The Softer Side of a Heavy Metal Town. Thank you so much, Erin, for joining us.
I am delighted to be here.
So I had no idea until sort of researching for this interview that burlesque and Cleveland have been so intertwined over the years. Can you tell us a little bit about the book?
Well, the book covers burlesque going back into the 1800s until yesterday, if you will. Burlesque has been in this town for a long, long time. It's had many different faces, and frankly, it is a fascinating story. It is a Cleveland story. It's kind of a bawdy story. It's kind of sexy, and it's changed as much as Cleveland has throughout the decades.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess first, let's can we define burlesque? Because I think as well, people might have some different perceptions of what burlesque is. Could you kind of help our listeners sort of define that?
I'm so glad you asked that. I am so glad you asked that. Way back in the 1800s, to burlesque something really meant to make fun of it. And that might have meant making fun of a literary work of the time. If you think of today, if you think of Spamilton, but okay, it also it might have meant making fun of people, which isn't quite so nice. And then in like the 1900s, it kind of started to evolve. It started to evolve into beautiful women, choruses, comedy, and kind of think of a vaudevillian type of show. And into the 1930s, 40s, 50s, the striptease really became an important aspect to it. Then the heydays was the 50s, 60s, and then in the 70s, things kind of started to change because of the way film changed, the way entertainment changed. Live entertainment was a little bit different. And really what most people think of when they think of burlesque today is it's kind of a fun And I will say striptease is people regard it as the mainstay in a burlesque show. And certainly if you see one today, you're going to see striptease. But for whatever reason, the way it's changed, back in the day, back in the 40s and 50s, it might have felt kind of seedy. But today, it just feels like fun. And I guess that's the happy end of that definition. So it's changed along with Clevelanders.
Yeah. So we had, I guess back in the day, we had tons of clubs going along like Euclid Avenue and things like that. Can you describe burlesque in the heyday of Cleveland back then? What did it look like?
Well, I'll tell you what. You have to remember that was like the only form of entertainment was going to a live theater. I would say in like the 30s and 40s, you would have had a chorus of singers. There would have been what they would call a putty-nosed, baggy pant comedian who was telling corny jokes, and then it would lead up to this showpiece featured striptease. And in 1935, that would be a woman such as Ann Corio, was very famous in the day. Later in the 60s, it might have been Blaze Starr, or oh gosh, I'm trying to think of all the names. So many legendary performers graced the Roxy Theater. So it was really kind of vaudevillian for much of the 20th century.
So what does Cleveland burlesque look like now? So if somebody were to go to the Ohio Burlesque Festival in August or go to the Beachland, what would they expect to see now?
It is so much fun. Expect to see all genders. Expect to see all ethnicities. Expect to see non-binary. Expect to see everyone represented on the stage, and then expect to see an audience that looks just like the performers. Everybody's having a good time. It's not about seediness. It's really kind of, I almost feel like I want to call it a celebration of a human celebration. It's sexy, and sure there's striptease, but it's funny, it's loud, it kind of gives you hope, if you will, for what tomorrow's going to look like in this country, because it's authentic, and you can't fake authenticity. This is what people want to be doing. This is who they are, and it's just a natural expression, and it's joyous. I mean, everybody's having the best time. So everybody's welcome. In the audience, you'll see all ages. You'll see all different kinds of people, and they're just excited to be there. They're having fun, and the shows generally are not that expensive, and they go several hours. So it's a great blast of entertainment for not too many dollars flying out of your wallet.
Yeah. And the theatrics, I think, you talk about, it's like really true theatrics. There's the costumes, and there's the beautiful women, and it is there's obviously a very modern take on it, but it is kind of just hearkening to like those, I don't know, dare I say it, open quotes, olden days of, like you say, vaudeville and theater, and really true stage entertainment, I think is what's unique about it.
And it's funny because in this day and age when everything is digital and everything is photoshopped and everything is perfect, go to a show at the Beachland. The 9 has a number of shows. I want to say Brothers Lounge may still have some, and you're going to see real people doing real performance. And I think we're all hungry for that. We're hungry for the real.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And real women. I mean, the women, they got curves. They got, they got some meat on them. They're not like skinny women.
And I will say real men as well. And that's the thing about it. Whatever your gender or whatever your gender is, however you identify, you're going to love every performance. And I don't care if the performer is a burlesque performer doing a humorous, kitschy act, or a young lady or not so young lady doing a classic burlesque act. They're all compelling for some reason. And I think that's my favorite part of it. Now, there was a gentleman, he did burlesque, and he walked on the stage, and he's got these horns on his head, and he's got this furry kind of like a pan costume on. And it was just completely compelling. Yeah. So whether it's Holly Grail or Bellison, it's just great entertainment, and it's sexy, and it's really for everyone over 18. I will say over 18. It's not...
Yeah. Who can truly appreciate it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, go ahead.
I think the best part about it is when you sit there in a show, since the cast is so diverse, you feel like, wow, you know, that could be me up there. Even if you never would ever want to do something like that, it makes you feel like, you know, maybe my lumps and bumps here and there, or what I look like, or the clothing I wear. Maybe if I wanted to showcase myself, maybe I would be as appreciated as this cast is. And I think that's part of the energy, okay? You can picture yourself on the stage because there is probably someone on that stage that looks like you.
Yeah.
So it's pretty powerful stuff, and it's a lot of fun. So it's like a loud show with a quiet message.
Yeah. Very, very profound way of describing that. So back to the book. So what was your favorite sort of story, or was there anything that you uncovered in helping create this book that kind of surprised you or made you laugh, or what was sort of your favorite thing that you uncovered as you were doing the book?
It's difficult to choose, but I have to say Bella Sin's story, okay? Bella Sin was a teenage girl in the Seattle, Washington area a couple of decades ago. She sees a book on a library shelf. It's a burlesque book. It's from, I think, 1956. She pulls it from the shelf. She opens it. She sees photographs of these beautiful women, and she says, that's what I want to do with my life. And she came here to Cleveland, and she made it happen. And considering she's an immigrant from Mexico, she worked really hard and overcame tremendous obstacles, including racism, body shaming. She just tackled everything, and now she's the head of this troupe and this 3-day festival. She's got a wall lined with accolades from Mayor Frank Jackson and the city council and state legislators, and you know, she's another testimony that, you know, if you build it, they will come, even no matter how hard it is to build it. She just followed that American dream, and that's a story I think we all need to appreciate right now. And I loved discovering it. I loved telling it. As far as funny things, there's so many funny instances in the historical portion of the book. I guess I'll pick out one. A woman named Ann Corio in 1935. The PD did an interview with her, and it's 1935, and she's there giving this interview saying, I'll take off my clothes any day of the week for $1,000. Which, you know, you think, oh, back then everybody was a real prude and this and that. I mean, she's in the front page of the PD, well, maybe not the front page, saying, yeah, you better believe I'll take off my clothes for $1,000.
Talk about women's empowerment back then, huh? Oh, my goodness.
Precisely.
So obviously, the photos that are done by Bob Perkoski, I know it's audio and everything like that, but that's got to be a big part of this book. Can you kind of describe maybe some of the photos and his work as a part of this book?
Okay, the words I would use are jewel-like. The images pop from the page. They're action images. They depict everybody. They're human. They're sexy. They're glam. They're LGBTQ everything. They're beautiful. Sometimes they're shocking. Sometimes they're not what you expect. Holly Grail. I mean, Holly Grail, we have a photo of her. She's appearing as in almost like a skeleton. There's beautiful photos of women and men who are almost completely clothed. And they still take your breath away. I'm looking at one of Pandora Fox right now, and she's got this costume that just swirls like a purple butterfly under these lights. So, you know, the book it's not just a book where, you know, you think if you go, you get an e-book and you read it and that's great. It's a photo book. It's something to own, like an album, a Cleveland album unlike no other. And these photos, it's all full color, and they'll be yours forever.
Yeah. It's 200 pages. And so this isn't just like a little, you know, magazine or something. This is kind of chunky. This has got a lot of meat in it. I can't wait to read it. It's out now. It's been out since July 2nd. And of course, there's tons of opportunities to see you locally as well. So you're doing some book signing July 11th at the B-Side Liquor Lounge, July 21st at Loganberry Books. Fantastic. Are you excited?
I'm so excited because, you know what, I feel like we all need a break. We need some fun. We need something beautiful. We need something sexy. We need something inclusive. And I didn't think I didn't know what I was going to find when I dove into this book, and it turned out to be all those things. And for that, I am thankful. I am excited to share it with Clevelanders. And I have to say, I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to find this book at libraries. Enjoy it. It's a big chunky 8x10 inch book. It's unique, and it's not heavy reading. It's fun. So I'm going to be at all kinds of libraries. I'm going to be I'm down as far as Columbus. We're in Akron. We have Medina dates. So it's all on the webpage. I have it there at erinO'Brien.us, a whole listing. We're not hard to find. So come out and see us. And I can't wait to entertain everyone. Go to a show. Whatever you do, get to a show. Get to the Ohio Burlesque Festival, August 1, 2, and 3. Get to a show. Have some fun. And I couldn't be more delighted.
Absolutely. So if you're already an avid fan of Cleveland's burlesque scene, or if you're a bit like me and just kind of suddenly realize that there's this whole culture in our city that has been running for a very long time, please go out and get Belt Burlesque, the softer side of a heavy metal town, available, I'm sure, everywhere. Thank you so much, Erin, for joining us and telling us your story. It's fantastic.
Jay, thank you, and I'll see you on the burlesque stage, I guess.
If you're with me.
I'm right next to you, sister.
We've now got new music from Canton's The Scenic Route. It's called I Said It First, and it's from its latest release, Ultraviolet.
Let's sit down for a minute, figure out where we fit in. 'Cause you know I adore you, I wanna do everything for you. But you're getting quiet, I'll stop trying to fight it. I can't let it be, and you can't even see that I've been worrying about it every day, thinking about you every day, every day. So scared by the lack of your words, and the silence that lingers, you know it just hurts. And now I'm falling from the weight of the words. How come I said it first? How come I said it? How come I said it first? I know silence is golden, but baby, you've been withholding all the answers I asked for, all the things I've looked past for. They're starting to add up. It's getting hard to keep track of all the shit that I go through, and I can't even tell you I've been worrying about it every day, thinking about you every day, every day. I'm so scared by the lack of your words,
That was a scenic route with new music called I Said It First. Plenty of chances to catch them live, including Game Time Bar and Grill in Canton on July 12th and the Women Rock CLE concert at the House of Blues on July 20th. And that's it for this week. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the Cool CLE Show, brought to you by coolcleveland.com. Big thanks to Erin O'Brien for coming on the show. Make sure you grab your copy of Belt Burlesque, A Softer Side of Heavy Metal Town at all reputable booksellers, and go and check out her book signings happening this month. Also, big thanks to Kevin Conaway and the Scenic Route for the music. Have a good one.